Chapter 2 Iced Out. Mr. Beast decides to become a good guy now that Stars is dead. I got revived, by the way. I'm back. Market kills Mr. Beast and doesn't tell his 400 million subscribers and his family. Then, nothing happens all day. Tomorrow, the almighty Obslick appears. The next day. There is no Obslick, just towers, steeples, and citadels, scattered around 30 plus areas. The narrator gets fired. Stars, CGDP, Mr. Beast, and Brian708 head to the North Pole in search of the narrator. As the search commences, the narrator is burned in the Tower of Heck. But everyone doesn't know it yet. Market releases the news. The narrator was burned in the Tower of Heck. The news becomes lost media. When Stars, CGDP, Mr. Beast, and Brian708 arrived, it was too late. The narrator was already temporarily permanently unconscious. Adrian XP explains his friend group. Everyone blacks out because Adrian XP took too long to explain it. And then the real Adrian XP appears and says, I don't have a friend group, and deletes the Adrian XP clone. The real Adrian XP finds CGP, Stars, Mr. Beast, and Brian708. Adrian XP wonders why they are working together. CGDP points a gun at Adrian. Get out in the most contextless, monotone voice you could ever imagine. Before Adrian even has a chance of saying anything, CGDP pulls the trigger and Adrian falls to the ground. Dead. Adrian XP and CGDP doesn't care. He says, we must continue the search, no? Important note right here. Brian708 starts playing on a PS3. Brian708 starts playing Need for Speed, Most Wanted. CGDP and Mr. Beast join Reno 7 in the game, but then notice Stars and Adrian XP are missing. Mr. Beast says, the first to find Stars and Adrian XP wins 10 million tower slots. Both of them are found by Walter White. The narrator is forgotten. Walter White wins the 10 million slots, although he thought the prize was $10 million. Walter White then uses these slots to make labs, which end up banning Roro off Roblox for a month. Walter White faints. The ambulance comes to the hospital. The doctor says, you have cancer. Walter White is shocked and goes to find a lab partner in the Roro Studios Discord. He finds Jesse Pinkman, the moderator. They secretly made and sold meth in Albuquerque. As time passed, they got richer and richer. Soon they had saved enough to go to North Carolina. But then they found out the plane pilot is Sarah Salmon, who has a quest for Walter. Sarah Salmon hits another plane. Walter meets Gus Fringman and Saul Goodman. The plane fell, landing in Oregon, Washington. I survived and teleport myself to New York, New York. After 2 years, Walter White dies. Now back to the real story. The search of that narrator. Adrian XP, Brian708, and and Mr. Beast get a call from Saturn Salmon, who reveals he knows where the narrator is. Except the narrator is buried in a graveyard located off the Lee Island coast in Florida. Stars breaks reality and teleports the crew to Lee Island coast in Florida. In Lee Island coast in Florida, Johnny Echo sells his soul for a red and blue obsession. Rolls up and looks at the whole crew and decides they need an antagonist. So, the immortal snail comes in, finding his mortal enemy, who he calls, I can't pronounce that, period. And the mortal snail watch as and period enter the room. Period says, then replies with, they're agreeing. Then, Among Us is proclaimed. Then it's revealed our universe has collided with the third wall, and Among Us wasn't a fiction character. It was reality. As it turns out, Among Us occurred in 1987 of November 14th in North Dakota. Period. Then Susstown starts construction, with plan of it being a big town. Then, is that the bite of 87? Freddy ate all the unnecessary characters to create a slightly more sensible plot. The Immortal Snow, period, and comma are shocked as everybody else dies. Freddy laughs and proclaims, "Life is Roblox." Then the roles invert. In the process, the narrator gets revived. "I can finally narrate this story once again," he said. He was shot 17 times. CGDP came back after 100 messages, reviewing this and gave it a hard fail. Again, Roro has broken the fourth wall. Agent XP tried to fix it before they see the entities beyond the broken fourth wall. It was stars, but the worst thing was it becoming a paradox, so it is say, don't go in. Period. The story channel closes its doors and nobody ever types on this desolate vast thread. The end. "Hi guys," said one of the crew repeatedly as he spirals into insanity. He begins to recite, "Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room of rats. Those rats make me crazy thing." Roro's thrown silent, alone. He doesn't know what happened, since it was all real. But then, CGDP breaks Roro out of the silent. CGDP asks Roro if we're still in Chapter 2. Roro says, "Ask Donut but Neon." Donut but Neon, very Neon appears, and tells CGDP that Chapter 2 will only end once an antagonistic force has been defeated. Nobody knows who the antagonist. Eventually, it was found out that Freddy was the antagonist, since he ate many characters. The floor explodes, and Freddy appears. "Oi, oi, oi, you'll never defeat me," says Freddy. Roro sues Freddy, and now they are in court. Freddy actually wrongfully sued Roro, as it turns out. Now they're trying to find lawyers. But all the lawyers only take card. This, CGDP said, and yelled, and spawned Gaming Legend, thy legend to be the lawyer. Gaming Legend, thy legend, has evidence that it isn't the case, points out. This elaborate trick to remove Roro's ownership of Shark's many towers of hell. One of the people in the crowd yelled, "Who?" "It's totally not me, guys," said Stars. Spoiler, they're an owl. Then Freddy does an objective to Roro, destroying an entire solar system. "Duolingo?" Roro says. Then the rubble clears, revealing Freddy and Duolingo standing together evilly. An evil CGDP comes in and gives it a hard slap. Implications suddenly emerge from a thick fog behind Freddy and Duolingo. "No, it can't be," said Roro. "Implications. You were behind this evil scheme all this time?" To be continued in Chapter 3. Insert chapter name here. That is the end of Chapter 2. Iced out. Thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. To be continued when I eventually make Chapter 3 once it's finished. Goodbye.